so what we're gonna do today is to actually mimic LinkedIn, and we're gonna clone the entire LinkedIn using Flutter today, and it's gonna be an amazing tutorial. So we'd like you to stick to it and watch to the end. So if you don't know LinkedIn, LinkedIn is actually a platform for work and other stuff related to personal life and all that, and mainly focus on what job seeking and other professional stuff here. So this is their linking verb, and this linking verb actually looks a bit different than the LinkedIn mobile. So the bar here is actually down for mobile, and this is verb, so it's actually up. So let's have a look at how LinkedIn look at. Okay, so I think most people know how it looks like. So let's get started. I'm going to close this or just minimize this. Okay, so what you have to do is to make sure you structure your folders exactly like mine. Let's concentrate on first having main.dat, constant.dat. I have already structured the folder to save time. And then size underscore config, which we're gonna do something like helping it to be very responsive on all platform, web, mobile, and also on other devices. And then we have models, which we're going to model some data we'll be using in the app. And then we have the user post model. This will be the feed for all posts will be adding to this app. And then we have our data, and this data will actually also help us with the application. So this is just a file we are yet to write in there. So let's look at the pushback.yaml. What is happening there? What you need to add is what? Font awesome Flutter will be using this, and then we are using the responsive builder, which will help us to make it very responsive to all devices. And you need to just go through this. We are using assets, and this assets, I have all the assets in here. Good. All the assets we'll be using for this application in here. That's how you need to get started with this. So let's begin. Now I start with the main, and as we always do, we have to import our Flutter package. So I import the Flutter package here. Yeah, I want to save time, so I actually added the structure to it so that you just pick it up from there. Okay, so let me import no, now we have this. First we create a void main, so void main, and then void main, we're gonna have, this is our entry class for our whole project. Good. So here we will be adding a run app, and this run app will have our main our main class in here, and our main class will be my app, which we are all used to. I've used this in several tutorials, so you can easily follow. And what I'll do is to create a stateless widget, and this stateless widget will have the my app that I have created up there. So my app. Good. So for this my app in here, what we'll do is to actually return a material app, and inside the material app, what we'll do is to make sure we take the debug. We don't want to show the debug on the screen, so the banner on the screen, so we set this to false. And then we need to actually add a title. Not really necessary, but for you to know what we're doing here. So I will say this is what LinkedIn redesigned. Okay, LinkedIn redesigned, and then what we'll do is to add our entry or our main class, which we are yet to create, but let's set it up here. So I'm gonna call this we are yet to create this class. It will come way later in the code. Okay, so I'm gonna call this splash screen because we'll be adding splash screen in here. Okay. Okay, good. So let's have the splash screen in there. Okay, so what we have to do next is to jump to our constant, and our constant will be adding this constant will basically be some simple colors we'll be using inside the project. So first I import package package Flutter material that, and then we'll add our constant. So our first color constant will be let's use k. Normally we use k for constant. Yeah, so k primary, let's say our k primary color. So our k primary color, that is our primary color, will be equal to color. We'll be using hex code color here, and you can always get your hex code color using Photoshop or online tools. So this will be OXFF. I have already picked these colors from Photoshop, so you can also pick this same color from Photoshop if you don't want to type this. Okay, then I have a C2. Okay, so this is actually blue because LinkedIn have this blue color, and then the next one will be our primary light color. And for this color it's gonna be OXFF FF, and then we'll add ECDF here, FF ECDF. Okay, ECDF. So this is gonna be a light color for our LinkedIn project. Okay, so we have two constant here set. Next is to look at adding what? Our media query sizes. This, we are making sure our program will be responsive on all screens. So package, not character, Flutter, Flutter material dot that, and then first we'll create a class, and this class will be called size because it's targeting the media query of our project. So size and size configuration. So let's name it size config. And so for our sizes, for it to be responsible, first we need to have some variables, and the first one we'll call our media query data, and this media query data will be equal to our private media query data. And here what we'll do is to also add another static, and this static will be what? Double. So we have a double here, and then we're going to check our screen screen width first. Our screen width, so it should compare our screen width, and screen width. Okay, now next one is to look at adding our screen height. So static, and then I add double to this, then we check our screen screen height. Okay, so the height, I'm starting with a capital height. Okay, then I'll terminate this. Next we'll look at our default size. Okay, if it cannot determine, we should have a default size for our screen. So let's look at let's call this default. default, we call this default size. Okay, good. Then next is to look at our static orientation. So let's look at orientation. Orientation, and this orientation we assign it to orientation. Okay, good. Now here, since we just want to customize our feel and look of our UI and how responsive it's gonna be, that is why we are doing this configuration, so that it will help us adjust our screen very well to all devices. So I call void, and the next one will be having a builder here. So int init, let's use init, and init here first will be builder context, and then we'll have our context in here. Okay, so for this one, we'll be making use of these variables we have here. So basically the same thing here, okay, but we need to make sure we are only using okay. Then here we'll assign this to a media called media query, and then media query dot of contest. Okay, dot of contest. Then we add the contest here. Okay, next one will be, we need to make sure this is equal to, since we'll be using this value, so this should be assigned to this to be used severally, so we assign the real the real context we need. Then the next one will be the screen. The screen, what we'll do is to use media query.data, this one here. So the screen width will be equal to the media query data, then we'll set it to dot size. So here will be size size dot the width. Okay, I end this here, and the next one for our screen height, we're gonna do the same like this, but this time around we'll use the height instead of the width. Okay, so height here, and then the default, let us take the default out because it's okay at the top. Then here we're gonna do equal to media data dot, this we should do dot orientation. Orientation, yeah, this same here. Okay, good. So now we have this one set. Let me see this one here. Make sure this is together, the same parentheses. Okay, perfect. Next, what we'll do is to actually get the proportionate height per the screen. So to do that, we need to use double here. We are getting the proportion size of the height. So we will do get, let's say get proportionate. Get proportionate what? First is to get proportionate screen size. Yes, screen. But let's use the screen height here. Screen height. Okay. Then what we're gonna do is to actually pass in double here, and double. And after the double, we have a simple what? Input height. Okay, perfect. Okay, so for our input height, let's set this to double. Oh, set this to double, and then we're gonna have a screen height here. So screen height here, and then we assign it to the size this should be size dot screen height. Yes, size dot screen height. So this screen height, this one. So we call the size, then we call dot what, our screen height. Then the next one is to check the size. That means we need to return the size. So for the return, we'll be returning what? The input, which is here. And this should be in a round bracket. So I have the input here, and then the input we want to measure every size with this. Every screen size with this is double, and then we multiply it by the screen height, which is this one. Okay, so let me see. This, instead to call only size, let's call size config. Size config, yes. And then let's look at the next one. Now we're going to look at the next what? Proportion height. And here will also be double. We are finished with the height, so we're gonna do for the width instead. Okay, so basically the same thing, but what will change here is simply using the width here instead of the height. Next is to look at here, also adding the width here instead of the height, and here as well, and here as well, here as well. Okay, and then here. But there should be a difference in the screen proportionate. So for the width, so here we'll be setting this to 375 here. Perfect. So we are done with our what? Our configuration file for our responsive what? UI. Good. Now let's look at constant sets. Constant. I don't need this gestures. Okay. So our constant is set. Now we want to look at one of this, either the data or the user model, but it will be better we look at the user model first so that we will know what it will entail inside our what? our main app, since we'll be feeding it with a Navigator. So let me create a class, and this class we're gonna call it the user model. Okay, and for our user model, we'll be feeding in with the data we actually need to build our UI. So this is actually mimicking data from either outside or using a JSON or using an inbuilt word list. Good. So first we have our final string, and then user data will definitely need a name of the user. Second, our final and then string will definitely need the connections, because LinkedIn have connections. So, and secondly, connections. Okay. Secondly, we will need a view profile. So people have to view profile. So view profile. Okay, and then thirdly, we'll need headline. Yeah, LinkedIn have a headline for each word. Each post you make, you need to have a headline. So we'll have this headline here, and next we're gonna have profile URL. Yeah, that will be the link to each profile. So profile URL. Okay, good. All right, so next we need to just create a constructor for this. So user model, and this user model will have we can do this automatically by generating this, but let's do this manually so that you can follow. So we have this dot. First we can use name or whatever we want, then comma, then we have this dot. This dot probably headlines, everything, anything you select there will be fine. This dot, it does not have to follow order. This dot connection, and we have this dot URL, this dot profile. Perfect. So we are done with the, let me end this statement. Okay, so we are done with the user model. Now let's step into the user post model. User post model. Okay, so this user post model will also be the same, not really the same, but similar, and we're gonna add the post here, post, and here we'll also add post here. Yeah, this is for the post, and for the post we'll be having the name, the headline. First we'll have name, we'll have a profile URL, then we're gonna have headline as well, and view profile will not have a view profile, so we're gonna add, every post needs to have a description. So description, and then every post need to have a headline, but here we're gonna add something, I think more fields here. So I may be lazy here. So video, people can post video, so we'll add video to it. And then for the post, people can also post probably image, and people can also post comments. comments. Okay, and people can also like a post. So we have like, and what other things can people do on LinkedIn when it comes to posts? Okay, tags. Okay, people can add tags to their post. Next is to add we have headlines, we have profile URL, name, video comments, likes. Now we're gonna add some boolean here, which will be checking true or false. Yes, we are mimicking the entire system. So we say is online, whether the user, to show whether the user is online. And then we also add another boolean. This boolean will be this video post. Check whether it's a video post. So we do video posts. Yes. Okay, good. So with this one, we need to add some other ones to this constructor. So we need to add comment, then we need to add description. Okay. We need to add image, then we need to add online, we need to add its posts. Is video posts. Okay, next we need to add like. Next we need to add tags. Okay, next we need to add video. Perfect. So we are set with what? With the user post model. Okay, so what we'll do next is to actually look at the data, and this data it has a lot of text in here. So what I have done was to actually create the text and then create the text before the tutorial because it has a lot of text in there. So let's look at first importing all the models we will need for our data, and this is the data we are feeding in our project. So this is basically mimicking a JSON API or maybe a JSON file or a list. So we're going to use a list in place of all these data sources. Good. So let me import package, and I'm gonna import from our app. So Flutter, app name is Flutter app. So Flutter app, and then Flutter app first. We're gonna use user model. So user model. Oh, let me add models here, and then inside our model we have user model. Perfect. So second we're gonna have models slash, then we have posts. Perfect. Okay, so since I have this is gonna be a simple class, and this class has all the data we need in here. I've predefined that, so I'll take you through what I did here in order to save time. So this is what? A class, and this class, go to output. Okay, so this is a class, and what is wrong here? Profile URL. Maybe there's a mistake somewhere. Oh yes, there's a mistake here. Here needs to be corrected. Profile URL. Yeah, I need to correct more of them. I think profile URL, yeah, here as well. Perfect. Okay, so this should be fine. Good. Likes, likes. Oh, no S. Likes, no S. Okay. Likes should be fine. And then what? Oh, profile in the user model. Profile. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. Okay, good. So they should be fine. All right. So what we did here is to actually have a class which is data feeding the data for application, and this is basically a list, and the list is being mimicking the user post model. And if you look at the user post model, we have name connection and all that blah blah blah. So we have assigned data to all these fields, and we have actually appended the list inside this this list variable or whatever you can call it. So we have the name. Sorry for Bill Gates. I'm using Bill Gates profile and some posts he made. So Bill Gates details here, which it actually came right in front of my eyes when I checked my LinkedIn. So I use the recent post Bill Gates did here for the first user list. And here we can have the tags. So tags, you can see all these tags in here. And then we have the description. I copied the description. So his video post is false. It wasn't a video. He only used an image. So it's image. So no video has been set for this. Then we have the comments and then the video, because video is false, so it's empty. If you want to use a video, you can put a video link in here and then you set this to true. Then we have the image and then the likes. So this is a duplicate of the above. So other post I found online, and then I have added the data, and this is actually my data. Okay, good. So this is what? This is the data. Next, we'll actually be looking at which will be looking more of the custom app bar, and then we'll be looking at the also the bottom app bar, the top and then the down. Good, but it seems I have some error in the constant, so let me check. Oh, here there's no equal to here. Okay, so this is perfect. Now we step into our screen slash pages folder, and this has been well organized, so you can create the first folder screen, and then we have pages inside. We have forget password, home, sign in, sign up, and then the splash screen. So you set this as it follows. So now let's look into the widget. We are actually going to tackle widgets in here. We are going to look at app bar. We're going to customize the app bar and then the button. So what we're gonna do here is basically this will be the custom button navigation for LinkedIn, and then this is how the app bar looks like. So let's tackle the app bar first, then we go to the button navigator. Okay, good. So the app bar, right, like I said, so the app bar, what we'll be needing here is to first do import, but we'll instead to use let's say a package, then let's use Cupertino icons, okay, for this one. Then for after the Cupertino, we're also going to add material.dat, because depending on your phone, it should give you the exact icons. So package and Flutter slash material. So we have Cupertino and then material. Then we also gonna have this font awesome Flutter, which we have already added to prospect.yaml. So let me go with Flutter. Flutter, no, we need to first start with package. And with the package, we're gonna add font font awesome, yeah, this one. Then next one will be a responsive builder, which we have already included. So we want it to be very responsive. That's why we included that package inside. So we create a class, and this class, we're gonna call it, pardon me for my keyboard, we're gonna include the this name of the class. We call it a custom app bar. Okay, and what we're gonna do is to use a stateless widget. So instead to type all, we need to just use a shortcut, and then I add the app bar. Okay, so for this side, what we should be looking at is to, since we want it to be responsive, we'll be using some sizing here. So let me add a final, and then I'll call this sizing information, and then I call sizing information again. Okay, so we need to add this to our constructor. Okay, so here, then comma, then I do this dot sizing. Good. So next is to look at adding some colors to a container. So let me see. First, we need to add a color here, and then here I'm gonna add colors. Colors dot. First, we'll be using which color? Let's use white. Yes, we use white. 70, and then next we'll be looking at our height here. So our height, and this height will be using the sizing that we have defined at the top, sizing information. Then we'll do dot screen size. Okay, then we'll do dot height. So dot height, and then our height will be using 0.08. Good. And let's look at our padding. Padding will be probably, let's use an edge insect, and edge insects we use the dot only, and we'll be looking at the top. The top will be, let's say, 5, since it's a button, so let's keep the top 5. And let's look at the left side. The left side, we're gonna look at a 15, and let's look at the right side of the button. Let's do this 15 as well. Good. All right, so after our padding, now let's add a child, and this child will be a row. So row, and for our row, let's first add our main. We use space evenly. Okay, so for each row we'll have our children. We're gonna use stack because we want to use stack over each other. And for our stack, we'll also have children in our stack, and our first stack, we need to use alignment to arrange it well. And inside our alignment, let me add the alignment. Let me use alignment dot center. Okay, good. So for our alignment, we'll be having, after alignment, let's have a child, and this child will be another container. And this container, we're gonna actually have the height of the container. So for each individual button, we will be inside this height. This height will be assigned to it, and then we have width the same, since we want the sizes to be in a square format, so we give the same height and the inside. Now let's add decoration here, and this will be a box decoration. Okay, so box decoration. Yeah, this one. Oh no. Okay, so inside our box decoration, what we should look first is the image, and we'll say decoration image. Okay, and for the image, we'll be calling image in the assets. So we call assets image, and first let me check this. Oh, okay, so the app bar. Okay, so I'll be calling this image here, which will be the avatar, then the search, then I'll add this small QR code icon here, and then I'll add this icon, which looks like the Facebook Messenger. Okay, good. So let's add the image that is the avatar, and I have an image inside the image folder called m1.png. Okay, so let me see what's wrong here. Assets image. Image assets. Yes, okay. Next is to look at the border radius of this image. So we use border radius, then we go border radius. Okay, so I use this one, and for our border radius we do .or, and for the .or we use the radius. Let's use radius.circular, and around it should be 20 so that it looks like a cool avatar. Okay, so let me have, yeah. Next is what should we look at? Here is a container. Okay, and then we have alignment, and then we have this. Okay. Stack, and we have our row. Stack. Let me check this. What is wrong here? Expected to find. Okay, let me double check this. So we have first this one. I'm trying to check to see the error from the beginning here. Oh, okay. I need to add a closing curly. Okay. And then let me see. From here we have the context, and context is here. We have the stateless widget. Okay, it's here. We have the container. and the container is here. Okay, container, let me see again, container, good. And for our container we have the row, that's the row. Okay, so for container we have the row. Okay, then after a row we have this what, this child, then we have the stack. Oh, why is the stack going down? Okay, for let me see, stack. Okay, stack, then we have alignment. Oh, okay, stack, container, alignment, alignment. Okay, we have the box. Good. This is very tricky. Okay, so let's continue. So this is set. So what we have to do is to look at, after we finish with the circular side of the, let's check first. Here, we are finished with the avatar. So next, let's add another container, and this container will be having the search and then these icons here. So let's do that. Okay, so this container will actually be outside of the stack, so here, but inside the row. Okay, so I'm gonna create the container. Good. And inside the container, let's have our height. And our height will be 35. Good. Next is to have our width, and with this width we'll be using the sizing information, and then we call dot screen size dot the width. Okay, good. Next, what we have to do in the container is to actually add a decoration so that we can decorate the icons, decoration, and box decoration. Box decoration. Okay. Inside the box decoration, let's have a border radius, and for the border radius, let's do border radius. We use dot all, and here we're gonna use radius radius dot circular, and we set this to 4. Okay, so after this one, let's add color, and we use colors dot, we go white, so white 70 to be uniform. And next is to look at adding child, and this child will actually be a test field. Test field. This one. Why? Because If we look at this, we can see this search bar. So we want to use the text field here for the search bar, then we add in the icons. Okay, so for the text field, first we need to add our decoration here, and then we'll add our input. Let me see, input decoration will do. Input decoration, then we have a hint. Hint text. Yeah, so our hint text will be a simple string, and then we'll call it a search. This one, this search here. Okay, then next is to add border to this. So border, and we'll look at a border of input, border of none. Input border dot none. Okay, then next will be, need to bring a comma here, otherwise it will yell at you. Then next, let's look at the icon. This one, it's called a prefix icon here, this one. So I'm gonna add that. So we call prefix icon, and prefix icon, then we add icon here. Good. And with this icon, what we do is to let me see which icon will give us the search. So I use icons dot, we use search, this one. Okay, so we have our icon dot search. Next is to add our color to the search, so we call colors. Oh no, colors dot black. Yeah, we have the black, but we use the black 87. Okay, and after this, let's add the QR code we have. So that one will be for text input field. If we have the prefix, we need to have the suffix icon, which is the QR code. So I'm gonna do that now. So we call that the suffix. So, and this one will be suffix. Let me use suffix icon. Yes, this one. Then we'll have an icon here. Oh, the same. I'm gonna be lazy here. So, but the icon here will be a QR code. So let's search for QR code icon. Yes, let's use the first one. That's okay. And the color, the same color. Okay. So same color for this and that, and then now we have our search ready. Now we're gonna add this lookalike Facebook Messenger. So let's create another container. So I give a comma here, then we create another container for that. Container. My keyboard is messing me up. Container, and then let's look at height, and height 30 here, and then we're gonna have our width for that Facebook Messenger lookalike. Okay, then here will also be 30, the same. Next is to look at then a child here, and this child will have a simple icon, and inside here we'll be using the font isom icon. So I call font icon isom dot Facebook lookalike. So Facebook Perfect. So we are actually done with the what? This here and there. Now let's tackle the button navigator. Okay, so for the button navigator, what we have to do is to first import package Flutter material. Okay, we can have everything in here. So this will be a simple widget. So widget, and for the widget we'll be calling it row single button. So for this our widget we'll be calling it the what? Row single button, and let's have our params here. First we'll be having a string name, button name. Next we'll be having a string icon, let's call it icon image. Then next we'll have color. It's a customized widget we are designing now. So color. Okay, next we'll have a bool, and then the bool is when it's hover, when there's any hover on the icon. Yeah, so it's hover. Okay, so these are params, and so for our widget, let's now set all these up. First we need to return, we're going to return a container for this. Okay. So inside here we'll be setting a pattern, and a pattern we go edge insect, then we'll use the symmetric edge insert symmetric. Then here will be vertical, then we set vertical to 4, and a horizontal to 6. Next we have decoration, and decoration we have box decoration, and inside our box decoration we have color, and for the color we're gonna use when is hover if hovered, this color should show colors dot, we do colors dot black should show. Then we'll add some opacity to it, so with opacity, and this opacity will be .1 because it's a double, so you can use .1. Not hovered, you show this color, this transparency. Colors dot. Okay, so next we look at a border, border radius for each icon. So border radius, border radius dot all, and we use radius, radius dot circular, and it will be 4. Okay, box decoration, good. So our box decoration is set. So we say if it's the icon is hovered, we show this color black with this thin opacity, or it should be transparent. Okay, and then we have set the decoration to a radius dot circle, and it's 4. So next is to have a child, and this child will be a row. And for the row, we're gonna have those children here. And for the children, we'll first have a container for our first child. And with the container, we set the width. This will be 28. And we set the height to 28. And then what we do is to add another child here, and this child will be image dot asset, and the asset name will be icon oh, what's happening, icon image, and icon image slash, then we go color, and color equal our color. That's a param up there. Okay, now we need to add some spacing in here using the size box, and the size box we need to add a width of 5. Okay, this is what we are doing. This one, we are setting the bottom bar navigation. That is a custom widget for it. So we said if this is hover, it needs to show some black with opacity here. It is 0.1. If it is not hover, it should show colors dot transparent. That looks like this. Yeah, this is what we are doing here. Now we are giving some space in here so that all the buttons can align well. Okay, so here, then we have the test, and with the test, first will be name of our button, then we'll add a star, and this star will be test star, and this test star will have a font size, okay, font size 16. Then we have font width. Font width, this will be equal to font width, and font width will be dot bold. Okay, so we are done with our first row single button. Now we're going to check our row single post button. So this is for row single buttons. Then we're gonna check a widget, add a widget for our our row single post. Okay, so we are done with this one, customization for this, and then the one beneath our post, that is what we are going to do. Okay, So this will be basically the same, but just small changes. So I'll copy this entire widget, okay, and then paste it here. Okay, but this we are renaming it to post. Okay, good. And for the parameters, we will not need name for our post buttons, but we will need icon, image, color, and then we'll need the bool as well. So it's hover. In the container, we'll leave this the same. Then we'll look at the decoration, also the same with the border radius, everything the same. Then we'll have a child, and this child also have the same size, and it's basically the same. So this will be for our what? For our post, but we don't need this text because we'll not be adding name to it. So I'm gonna actually remove this. So first, let me remove the size box. Second, I'm gonna remove the text in here. We don't need this. Okay, perfect. So we are done with this.